All right, what's up? This is Essen. I'm Luke. This is Rami. We're here. We're talking, having a conversation, having fun. What's up, Rami?
Not much. I had a great Christmas. How was your Christmas, your New Year's? We haven't spoken in a bit.
We haven't. You've been busy with the fam, with the little boy
Been
and,
busy with
and the
that.
wife, and
Yeah, I did call you the other night though. We did little chit chat.
that was like a 1 a.m. What the heck's going on kind of thing. I think I
Like an
woke up
hour
the
and a half.
next day like feeling a bit weird because it was such a late conversation and it was intense.
Mhm. Yeah,
But
and it was scary.
yeah, what the fuck is going on, dude?
I don't
Like,
know, but let's talk blockchain.
I don't
Let's talk
even,
block
it's hard to
first
talk about
before we.
anything else other than that, you know?
Yeah, I know, and that will be addressed. But
All
okay,
right,
fine. You want to just get into it? We'll just get into it. If you want to just get into it.
let's get into it. And if we turn onto the subject of Zoids, crypto, and making money, then right on. But what the
Yeah,
fuck,
yeah.
man?
Yeah, man. It's as if Hitler went in a time machine and just kind of like his ideas just kind of came back.
It's not even
Which
like they left. It's just when they tried, they failed, and they're like, okay, it's gonna be a while till we can try that again. But it's like ultimately it's just like humanity as a whole. For us to get to this point, something is wrong. And this is just a reflection of it. And as a whole, we just need to fix ourselves. And then these symptoms go away.
now, like, so is it that humanity is at fault? Which I kind of agree that it is. Um, or is it that when no one's watching, the worst kids come up get up to the worst things. You know what I mean? It's like if we're like a classroom, if the whole world is like a classroom, we've kind of been like aware that the teacher isn't actually a teacher for a while, but we kind of just ignored it and went to recess anyway and had lunch anyway. But now the teacher's letting like one or two kids like go through our bags and take our snacks, and the rest of us, and there's like five kids in the class going, this is fucking wrong, but we keep getting sent to detention and into the hall, and we're like, guys, like, stop this, someone stop it, but we just keep getting punished. And until all of us go, hey, you're not a teacher, and like, you know what I mean, like, until we all start taking, it's kind of like a reflection of the way people are in their lives. Like, something is going on. Like, you tell them, hey, Instagram is like designed to give you like mental illness, right? Like, it's in the algorithms. People go, yeah, but I don't use it like that. No, but
Exactly.
I'm just gonna scroll it. And it's like it's as if I told you, hey, there's a plot to get you to put something dangerous in your body, right? If there's a plot to put something, not saying what it is, just speaking, hypothetically, if there was a plot and I warned you of this plot, you would go, no, or whatever, or okay. It's like, man, I don't know. Fuck.
My parents, they just like watch it unfold and they're just like, I can't believe what's going on. This is crazy. The kids are home from school, but oh well. And it's like I don't even say anything anymore. Don't.
Look, I'm happy that the kids aren't going to school. I kind of am. But they should still be hanging out with hundreds of other kids at the same time. Like, if anything, school should be out. Stop the school. But that big playground, all the parents should like make a wall around the edge of the playground and just let their kids play in the middle. And that would be so good for children. That would be so good. Because if you think about it, kids are designed to like run through the village while everyone's doing shit. You know what I mean? Not
But
to stay home and look at their computer.
if there's like a dangerous thing out there to get them, then no one's letting their kid go play at the playground because they're just like bombarded with fear porn, as
But think
Malone
about
calls
this,
it.
right? In all the great myths, whether it's like Hercules or something, the crux of the story is, or St. George, there's a village, there's a dragon or a monster that keeps coming to the village. So there's always danger outside the village, right? And the story is always the brave hero, the young man, or sometimes the young woman, it's just, whatever, goes out, ventures out and confronts the danger, kills it, and then like brings back what's important from it to the rest of the village. It's like it's almost like our duty through stories has taught us that if there is this coronavirus out there, you're not supposed to stay in the village and wait for it to come to you. You're supposed to go out there and confront it. Turns out if you confront it, it's a bunch of people in lab coats standing on top of each other holding up like a dragon suit. And it's like, oh, guys, it's not even a dragon. They go, no, you're crazy. It's like, no, dude, it's not even a dragon. I can like push this thing over. It's like, no, don't push it over. It's like, what do you mean? Take him away. It's like, no.
So what does that guy do that's like pointing out the false dragon?
Ned Stark, bro. Ned Stark. Ned Stark. Say
Who's
it's
Ned
not a
Stark?
dragon. Say Ned Stark, Game of Thrones. It's like basically what does the hero have to do in that whole time? They go, say it's a dragon. Bro, that's not a dragon. Like Emperor wears no clothes, right? It's like the Emperor is walking around. This guy, this genius is like, y'all, I'll make you magic thread. With magic thread, I'll make you a suit. But you got to give me like, what's the contract for the coronavirus thing? Like, you have to give me like 35 billion. Okay, just like Fauci's like, hey, or Bill Gates, hey, I can make you silk clothes. I can make you this beautiful thread clothes. Makes it, and it's empty. And the guy's like, what is it? He goes, well, it's a special thread that only if you're smart you can see it. And everyone's like, oh, I can see it. See it. And this guy's just there like, okay. So the emperor starts wearing his clothes everywhere, but it's not, he's naked. But everyone's like, well, if you're smart, you can see it. No one wants to be the one that goes, I don't see it. So they go, wow, well, it's beautiful. It's the green. Yeah, the green. Yeah, it's green. It's green. Yeah, it's green. Like they start doing that. And then one kid one day at the parade, as the emperor parades around these non-existent new clothes, the kid goes, hi, guys got a tiny dick. And everyone's like, you can't see his dick. He's wearing clothes. Like, that guy's naked as fuck. And his dick's small. And he's like, tell that child to say I'm wearing clothes. He goes, nah, bro, that guy's not. You guys see, you don't see his dick? And everyone goes, yeah, I can see your dick, bro. And everyone starts laughing at the emperor. And the emperor runs away. But I think in like the real story, he gets everyone killed or something like that. But the crux is, it's not that there's no diarrhea. Yeah, there's no diarrhea. It's not that there's no diarrhea. It's that the diarrhea, it turns out, is just a fart. But we are like, oh my God, I don't want to get dysentery and shit my guts out. But it's like, dude, there's no clothes on that dude. I just mixed analogies.
It's gonna be an interesting year. I'm excited to watch it unfold. To watch like the eyes open. You know?
Mm-hmm.
That we're gonna be watching like these.
Open.
You don't think so?
Bro, I'm around those who see the clothes, right? We'll put it that way. And they're insisting, they're like, it's like, hey man, there's a lot of like, there's others not wearing clothes, right? And people go, no, he's wearing clothes. And it's like even an example. Like I saw these people the other day. I don't know why I'm whispering, I'm alone. I'm like, oh shit. So these people were over the other day, and somehow the conversation of Springsteen's and diarrhea came up. And, or should we just say it? No, we'll get taken off YouTube or whatever. I don't know. I'll just keep using the code. And someone goes, yeah, dude, after 3 Springsteens, this is the last one. Like, bro, the first one was there was never been, none was the last one for me. Like, what do you mean? You're going to get it again. You've bent over enough times. There's a muscle memory. There's a psychological muscle memory to just giving it. So you're gonna get 4, 5, 6, and B. So what? 3 times poison is okay? Let's not get crazy. What are you talking about?
It's like what's one more, right? What's one more?
What's
To go to the aquarium
one more?
and get some spaghetti, you just need one more. You just need one more.
Bro, this is my 4th coffee today. And I'll tell you what, after the first one, it was easy to drink 2, 3, 4.
Exactly.
It's like you stop feeling it. What's crazy is, according to Dr. Peter McCullough, who is not just like your doctor or my doctor or Joe Schmo's doctor, the most cited and published doctor in his field of any field. Any field. He's like the GOAT. He's the Michael Jordan. He's the insert. I hate the GOAT though. I can't believe I just said that. I want to shoot
Is
myself
that the
in the head.
doctor that was on Alex Jones?
And Rogan. Peter
And
McCullough.
Rogan, right?
Yeah, this is the guy. He's kind of like a little nerdier guy. Like Robert Malone looks like he just cut down a tree and fucked a bear. Like that guy's just a beard, and he's just like, yeah, this is dangerous. It's like, you know, but Peter McCullough's like, you know, he kind of looks like my grandfather. He's like kind of like a, you know, regular guy kind of thing, and he's just like Peter McCullough says, in no uncertain terms, it cannot be good to inject yourself with with spike protein that induces gene therapy over and over again. He says, in no uncertain terms, it cannot be good. And this is data. This is not an opinion. This is like, no, dude. You can debate whether it works against COVID, but you can't debate if it's good to do.
The thing that's amazing about that Robert Malone interview with Rogan is that it starts out with Rogan asking Malone, have you been vaccinated? And Malone's like, yeah, I've been vaccinated. And then the rest of the interview just slowly segues into the facts of the matter that this Springsteen is just wreaking havoc. Meanwhile, the scientist and the guy that created it got it, thought it was great, and is realizing that it's not, and is realizing that this whole
not
play.
Just that, because he is one of the inventors of the technology, he gets a slice of the pie. This guy is supposed to be making money on these things.
I thought he didn't.
But he does. No, he doesn't, because he like left those positions, those boards, those patents. He gave, like he did a long time ago. He's like, I'm okay. I did it. I'm done. Right. But in any other world, someone with those connections to that type of technology would be going, get it, please. It's his. Even if he knew it was kind of fucked up, he's the type of person, and not out of like this supreme flawed character, just like, I made this thing, I believe in it. But he's going, I made this thing, and they made it into something else, and they fucked him up with his own shit. The haft of the arrow is feathered by the eagle's own plumes. This guy gave them the technology, and they did something with it, gave it to the guy who made it, and he has heart problems and blood pressure issues, and like, whoa. That's an endorsement I think everyone in the world should hear. I designed a Honda Civic and then goes, hey, don't drive this car. I designed this and they fucked with my thing. Don't drive this car. And everyone goes, he's crazy. It's like, yo, you have to be some kind of something.
Well, it's like Steve Jobs. He invented the iPhone, but doesn't let his kids use an iPhone. You know, and then every kid.
That's a perfect. And according to, I forget why, you'd have to go back and listen. Like, if anyone who's listening to this and wants sources, go listen to him. I'm just a parrot. He mentioned something about there was some sort of like, he had some sort of, whether it was anecdotal or a phone call or like paperwork. He said something where members of the CDC aren't getting their children vaccinated.
Oh, I didn't see.
Like, they aren't. They aren't. They fucking aren't. And Congress and these people and NFL is treating people who got COVID with Rogan's formula, which is Peter McCullough's early treatment formula. So they're not getting it. They're taking what they're making fun of Rogan. The thing that they're going, that's he's stupid, he's taking horse cum or whatever, horse paste. They're taking the horse paste and they're not getting the fucking Springsteen.
Well, one of the things that is really just out in the open is the fact that the government is stopping the release of medicines that can help with early treatment and help keep people from going to hospitals from dying. They're like blatantly stopping that. So they're causing people to die.
I think the FDA, something's going on. I forget who filed the what. But basically, what they're saying is they're not going to release the COVID data until like 2057 or some shit like that. 2072. Like they're saying 50 years.
It's so crazy. It's so absurd. It's a movie, but people fall for it.
It's the most. I've never seen more of an example of quickly. You're in danger. Get in this cage. Cage, you're in danger, get in the cage. Or in China, they just go, get in the cage. You go, oh, okay. In America, they have to like, oh my God, it's scary out here. You should get in this cage. And then you get in the cage and they close and lock the cage on you. And then you're like, hey, what the fuck? And they go, well, you know what? It's still dangerous. So we're going to there's a cage you can wear. Wear this cage in the cage and you'll be safe. And it's the most like, you're telling me to wear a cage? I'm not wearing the cage, bro. Fucking, this is crazy, dude. And like all the shit going on with this, like the things that they're saying, Robert Malone, like that, like apparently deaths in children, like heart problems in children are spiking. Nurses are coming forward saying more kids are dying from the Springsteen than from diarrhea.
Well, that's
what is going.
That's a good point that Robert Malone makes, is that with the kids, there's a blank canvas. Kids don't just develop heart problems and die regularly. Like adults do, sure. But these kids, they just have a blank canvas. When these kids are dying, I think he obvious.
Says like there's less background noise of like medical and trauma and stress on the body. Whereas like a 50-year-old gets the Springsteen, gets a heart attack. Everyone I know just goes, well, he was 50.
It was his time.
And it's like, but when it's happening to children, it's like, but dude, there was a story of like a 13-year-old girl who had a heart attack, and the news was talking about it, but they were saying like, it was just like, well, how did this happen? She's a poor girl. Well, now she's back at school and she's so brave and oh my God, it's okay. And it's like, bro, why is she having a heart attack? She's like 7.
And then the one kid that was in the one of the Springsteen studies, one of the trials, and she gets like completely
seizures, paralysis.
She's like disabled now in a wheelchair, can't move, and they took her out of the study because they said she had a stomach ache before the Springsteen, and that was what caused her to be paralyzed. So they just took her out of the study.
Distress. No. They didn't even they didn't say that's why she was caused to be paralyzed. They said the paralysis and the seizures and the permanent paralysis being in a chair was just gastrointestinal distress.
Right.
They didn't say that she got paralyzed and everything. They said, oh, she got the thing, but she just got a little stomach problem. And then the mom heard this and was like, no, she had seizures and she's paralyzed for life now. Like that's what's happening.
And then
and there's still people in my life saying, have you gotten this yet?
The other thing that was crazy from that interview which was also kind of interesting and funny, was the Jewish community in New York, where the elder men are tracking the cycles of the women in the community because they want to like optimize their abilities to like breed and grow their species or
fertility,
whatever. And after they all got the Springsteen, their whole
Did you say species? Did you say species?
Their people, their culture, their religion, them.
No, their racial heritage or whatever the proper term is. Yeah, yeah, okay. I know that you said I know what you meant, but it just sounds funny. Okay, so yeah,
And
and
the
they got
girls, all of
vaccinated.
their cycles are completely out of whack. And so these elders, these rich Jewish elders, are freaking out because this is like a threat to their ability to thrive, to breed, to
Prolong their community. Yeah,
prolong their
yeah, and
community.
not just freaking out. Girls are having menopause younger and younger, and
Who are
women who have had
old.
menopause
Right.
are all of a sudden bleeding again. And it's like, what in, and the bleeding is odd because it's not more eggs. That's the thing. You only have a certain amount of eggs.
Right.
Women are born with all the eggs they'll ever have. So it's like, why are they bleeding? Like, there's a lot of fuckery going on. And, you know, I think one of the earlier times we did this podcast, and I know earlier in life when we were just talking, I said, best case scenario, this is a cash grab. It's just a cash grab, right? I think we have to move those lines up a bit because even Robert Malone, and not just Robert Malone, this is like a lot of people saying that these things that the governments are doing, the things that we're going, wait, they're not doing early treatment, but they're doing this. They're not listening to real science and evidence, but they're promoting this. Like, what's going on? This is all laid out from 2007, which was from an earlier plan from the 1970s, which is from an earlier plan from the 1960s. It's just this evolving plan where the World Economic Forum and Davos Group and Bilderberg and all these groups
Global elite.
have said, global elite have said over and over, like they've told us, but they make it sound like it's a good thing. There needs to be less people. There needs to be a massive collapse so that they can come in and bring in a new form of governance and a new form of market. It's literally what they said, and everything that they've said is happening, and it's not random if it's happening exactly according to plan. So I think the thing I can say now is best case scenario, this is massive depopulation, but it's not going to work. That's the best case scenario now.
People are gonna wake up
But
and
the
it's
worst case
not gonna
scenario
work.
is it's already worked, bro. Unless they're just, which they could be just completely lying about how many people got vaccinated. But if their numbers are scaling to correct, it's like upwards of 70 to 80% of Canada has been vaccinated.
Probably
60% of the United.
probably 70% of the world.
Yeah, like that's what they say. Now it could be shitting. They could be lying.
Now, I don't think they are though, because like everyone we talk to is like based on my experience of the world and who I just meet on a day-to-day basis, 70% for sure are vaccinated. I find it hard to meet someone who's not, who doesn't
For
have the
me,
Springsteen.
I know a lot of people, but the thing is, other people in my life, it's like a 50-50 split. The people in my life, half have it, half don't. But I guess you're right. In the greater context of like other people and stuff like that, it's like about 70-80. The
Like
people that don't get it, yeah.
like Robert Malone, he's having this. They're like organizing this big protest near the end of the month.
January 23rd, yeah.
Right, to protest the mandates, not the vaccine stuff, not the Springsteen stuff, not the this or that, but the mandates. And Malone,
Just the
he's like,
government overreach.
we should have the freedom to choose to get vaccinated. And it's like crazy. Like, I hear that and I'm like, yeah, you're right. But it's crazy that people have a choice to get poisoned by their doctor. They can choose. If they want, you can.
But people have I smoke, right? So it's like
Right,
people have the choice to
right.
make healthy habits or unhealthy habit decisions. And
I just had a thought.
but the difference is there's a consent part, there's an information part. I know
Yeah,
when I smoke
it's on the
that
package.
one
There's a
out of
dead
every
baby on
two
the
smokers
package.
dies. I just think there's a dead baby on the package, and it's like, when did he start smoking? That's a Patrice O'Neill joke. That's a Patrice O'Neill joke. But there's a thing, one in every two smokers. I think I'm gonna be the one out of, or the other one, not the one that's gonna die from it, but whatever. One out of every two people who smoke dies. But this vaccine doesn't have that label on it. Doesn't have that But this is the thing I've learned, right, from this whole thing. I'm gonna start treating doctors the way I treat cops. Is that what's my cops? A cop pulls you over. The best thing they say to say, they go cooperate. Fuck you. The best thing they say to say is, am I being detained? Do I have the right to go? I want to, and if they say yes to any of those things, you just go lawyer. That's it. There's only three things you say to cops. Am I being detained? Am I free to go? Lawyer. I feel like with doctors, from now on, I'm just going to be like, is this your professional opinion? I need informed consent.
Who's
I need
liable
the other side
if I
of the
get
story.
hurt?
Like a doctor, exactly. Doctors, you have to, doctors suck. Like, I went to the doctor the other day for my girl. She has like an issue where she gets like a burpee and like acid reflux. She has like some bad acid reflux since her pregnancy.
She's not drinking
And like
the
we've
booch I
spoken
sent you?
about like the booch, to drink the booch, right? So so I've been getting her to do it. And the day she did it, this is just a note. The day she took a lot of the booch, she hung out with her friend and they had some sangria. Now alcohol makes it go back. She drank the sangria and didn't get any acid reflux. The day of drinking booch. Causation, correlation, whatever you want to say, I don't know. Looks good to me. But we go to the doctor and she goes, I need acid reflux. Like I have acid reflux. The doctor goes, I'll give you something for it. And I go, question, what if she drank more kombucha? The doctor goes, that doesn't do anything for that. And it's like, hey, retard, I can Google it right now. And there are tons of doctors, physicians, gastrointestinal specialists who say things like vinegar, apple cider vinegar, kombucha, these things are good for reduction in acidity in the stomach. Things that there are natural foods that can alkaline your stomach and prevent acid reflux. That's why they make you eat chalk. Those vitamin, whatever those tablets, like Tums, things like that. That's alkalining your stomach. So she's immediately full of shit. And I'm like, are you sure? She goes, yeah, no. And I'm
How
like,
healthy did the doctor look?
She was like,
did she look healthy?
She didn't. Here, I'll put it this way: she didn't look. She didn't look like optimal in any way. She just looked not unhealthy. She was pregnant too.
Right.
So she had that natural glow, where she probably looked a little better than she should. Yeah. About a little thicker, a little plumper. But no, she wasn't like unhealthy. But it's like, if she got Springsteened with that thing in her, that baby's gonna come out looking like the Thing from Fantastic Four. But she's like, there's no way kombucha can help your stomach, only this. And from that moment, and listening to Dr. Malone and the other guy who was like Andrew something on Rogan, he was talking about the state of the pharmaceutical industry and the law, how they've literally, like, if the government is supposed to keep the pharmaceutical industry at bay while they do things, it's the other way around. The pharmaceutical industry is fucking and scaring the government. So he explains the relationship between them and how it's so unbalanced and bad for people. And I realized now I have to talk to doctors the way I talk to cops. Is this professional opinion? What is the informed consent? Who's liable? Can I see the studies? Can I see the research? Blah, blah, blah. Like, you need to, and if they go, I don't know, I don't know that. And it's like, find out for me, because that's actually your job.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to stop just listening to doctors and getting nervous and shy and embarrassed to ask them or challenge them. The way I usually feel in the doctors, I feel a little shy, a little embarrassed. This person went to school, I'm a retard. Now I'm going to be like, you're the retard because Big Pharma filled your head with shit. I'm just going to ask that booch question every time. I'm going to ask that booch question every time, because if they say it doesn't, it's like, bro, there's literature on this. It's so fuck doctors, as much as they do a great thing, blah, blah, blah. A lot of them are just, it's the same thing with cops. It's the same thing with politicians. It's the same thing with everything. There's just a bunch of retards who suck at their job and are exploiting people with their position.
It's like, it's a tricky thing, because doctors, they do a lot of good, but they do a lot of harm. It's like this weird catch-22. They're as much good as they're doing, they might be doing that much harm too. And it's like that I think it's the key thing to it is that financial incentive that Malone talks about. because they have that little financial incentive. If I prescribe this, so I get a little kickback. It's just enough to give them that push to do it, and so they get into those little
Yeah.
habits. But they do good. Like I went to the doctor a few weeks ago and got some antibiotics for my ear infection, and I was so grateful for that doctor. Oh my god! But
Yeah, no, I'm this is what I'm saying. I'm not
yeah,
saying doctors are bad. Of course not. That's retarded. It's like saying to defund the police. It's the same stupid shit. What I'm saying is, just like teachers, a lot of them are dog shit. Are dog shit. And as much as they can get rid of your ear infection, because they go boop, boop. They just go, ear infection, okay, take this. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's great. You went to school, so now you can prescribe things, but like, why don't you teach me what it like, and I know you can ask these questions. It's just, I think I agree with Dr. Malone. I agree with Dr. Peter McCullough. The medical industry is so filled with opportunists, and also they're scared. They're scared to step out of line. Like a lot of them, they're getting their licenses challenged. Peter McCullough is fighting for his license in court.
mm-hmm.
And it's like they're trying to take his license away. Why? Because he's doing real, like, that's what I mean. It's like, K custodi, who's watching the watchers? It's like, when they captured the thing that watches them, they're immune to fucking punishment. And they can just behave as badly as they want. And then they infect the doctors into thinking they're doing something good. That's the thing. These doctors don't know. Like my cousin went to his doctor and saw he's like, yeah, you have a deviated septum. We have to do surgery. And he goes, doc, I can't wear this mask. Like I have a deviated septum. I can't breathe. And the doctor goes, I think you just don't want to wear the mask. He goes, I love to see with a lot of people with deviated septums. They're fine. He goes, yeah, but I can't breathe. And he goes, well, we all have to do our part. It's like, bro, you're a doctor. You haven't read the literature on masks? The only thing masks do, Peter McCullough, Robert Malone, people do it. They cite the real research. All it does is make your body more acidic by lowering your oxygen. It just lowers your oxygen. And when your oxygen gets lowered, your body becomes more acidic. And that's how you get inflammation, diseases, problems, nerve, like it. What the fuck, Lucas? What are we doing? We're living in this time.
What are your predictions for 2022?
I think the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. Buffalo Bills. No, for real. I think there's going to be a lot of people dying, but it's going to be like there's this thing in the Gulag Archipelago, Alexander Solzhenitsyn. There's this one chapter. It talks about when the arrests started, when they started arresting people after the Russian Revolution. They started arresting people. And he says something to the akin of like, what would have happened if instead of ignoring the sound of footsteps up and down the stairs, of your neighbor's doors being knocked on, what if instead of ignoring that, we all jumped on those policemen and beat them until they couldn't arrest us? Because it's something in this chapter was like about how arrests started happening, but everyone was like just kind of like not talking about it and kind of just like, well, it wasn't in any public, it wasn't in their newspaper or their thing, it wasn't being talked about, but everyone knew it was happening, but everyone was just kind of quiet about it and just, oh, where's Janice? Oh, she's gone. Oh, okay, like that. I think that's going to start happening with deaths. People are going to start dying. We're going to start talking about it like, died? Okay, that's it.
Right.
Like, we're not going to want to draw attention to the fact that people poison themselves and their children because they were told to by fucking geek Meister General Fauci. Looks like Stuart Minkus from Boy Meets World. This guy looks like the most I hate the world nerd. And Bill Gates. Why do they all look like I hate the world nerds? It's the nerds are declaring war on us, bro. These fucking creepy people.
The people that are smart enough to do it and have the anger inside of them, the hate
Resentment,
inside of
the
them,
resentment,
the
the
resentment,
resentment.
the
They,
resentment.
that's what it is. It's
Mhm.
fuck you. I'm gonna show you. That's what this is. But it's more than that. I think it's actually like a eugenics program. I think they think this is the good. They think this is the new era. This is we're
Yeah,
gonna lead the world. And this is the thing about sociopathic thinking. It's like they think if you're dumb enough to get tricked, that's your fault. If you're smart enough to see what we're doing, you deserve to live.
right.
I'm
I think it's
scared,
going to
bro.
be, I think 2022 is going to be interesting for people like you and me, for people that know what's going on, and they're kind of like, they're kind of almost at peace with it, in a sense that like they're not being red pilled anymore. Like it's not as crazy. It's more like, okay, this is just the world we live in now. And we're just going to watch from the outskirts of all of this shit unfold. And hopefully it's people waking
Yeah,
up. Hopefully it's like people figuring out what's going on. Hopefully mandates
like
being taken down.
yeah. Like here's a point about World War II. Like people compare things to the Holocaust a lot, right? And like here's the thing: most people didn't even know what was happening. They thought that the Jews had been taken to like a new place to live. Like they were going. Like a lot of them did go to Israel. Like there was a deal where like the Nazis sent a bunch of Jews to Israel. They made a coin, and they were like sending them to Israel. And then like then they started killing a bunch of them. And it's like people just thought, oh, they're just doing it. It's like they didn't think that this was just like, oh, we're just getting our boosters. Like they didn't know what was happening. People in America had no idea about Hitler's killing machine against the Jewry of Europe. They had no idea that that was happening. They thought that people actually liked Hitler. Like this guy turned the country around. Yeah, he hates Jews. He's racist. But like, dude, Germany was like fucked 4 years ago. Now it's like Time Magazine, Man of the Year. Like people liked him. Like Fauci. And the reason why they did that also is because they were in on it with him. IBM made the first computers for eugenics. Those tattoos, IBM tracker numbers, international business machines. It was IBM. And then when Hitler got the whole thing happened, IBM's just looking over here like, you guys want a computer? Like Krupp. There's a company called Krupp. They made tanks in World War II. They made tanks for Hitler, for the killing, for Nazi war machine. Now they make like elevators. So it's like, you want elevators? It's like they just acted like, oh, that guy was nuts. They were all in. It's the same thing that's going to happen with this COVID thing. Everyone's pitching in the news, and everyone, and then when it starts going bad, they're going to go, oh, whoa, oh my God, we've been lied to. It's like, no, you guys,
Well, it's
this
the
is
thing
so,
that
I can't believe this is
Malone was
happening.
talking about, the mass formation psychosis. He laid it out so perfectly
Which,
in
by the
that
way,
podcast.
I Googled it because Alex Jones said they've destroyed that Google search. You
Really?
Google it now, it's
I'm going to
all
Google it right now.
mass formation hypnosis is a right wing conspiracy. Joe Rogan makes Robert Malone claims to be the inventor of mRNA, makes unfounded. You Google search mass formation psychosis, it's like it's not real. Oh, right wing. Oh, Proud Boys, and it's like, bro, that's a real thing. We were taught that in school. That's how Hitler hypnotized the people of Germany. Remember? He hypnotized them with his dynamic speaking, with his false flags. How's the Google search looking for it?
I went on DuckDuckGo, so I actually got
No, don't go
stuff. I know, I
DuckDuckGo.
know,
So you get the
I
real.
know.
You get no Google, dude. It's hilarious how bad. Dude, show it on the screen. Can you show it on the
Okay,
screen?
okay.
I want to laugh.
It was
Show it on the
trending on
screen.
Twitter yesterday.
No, it's not. Boom.
Okay.
And then after you show DuckDuckGo first.
Okay.
Go first, please. It's the difference will be hilarious.
DuckDuckGo, first
Transformation
one,
psychosis.
Substack. So this is like Robert Malone's Substack. So that's like legit as source.
And here's the thing about DuckDuckGo. It gives you all the information. So it's even giving you
So it's like rights,
That sounds
freedoms.
crazy.
It's literally, oh, here's a Forbes thing. Who knows what that is? Mass formation has been used in place of terms like mob psychology.
Oh, I read that one. That one's hilarious. That's actually one of the funniest articles. It's so hit piecey. The guy who wrote it like an angry 16-year-old prom queen.
Let's see.
Like
Let's
the
see what
way he
comes up
will
on
read.
Google, and then we'll read it.
Okay.
Mass formation psychosis on Google. Forbes one, very first one. It wasn't Substack. It wasn't Substack. Swift, and then Yahoo. YouTube. Mass formation psychosis is new viral delusional, right? Exactly as you said it. Wow.
It's all these like YouTube people that get paid by like Davos Group, WEF, and they make these hit pieces on anything that comes out. Like they try to say Peter McCullough doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm sorry, this is the most cited PhD in our time.
It's just
You can't
nonsense.
say he doesn't know what he's. Yo, this is the funniest article I have ever seen in my life.
Who wrote it?
Sorry.
Bruce Wiley. Oh, I wanted the picture.
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee wrote it.
This article.
He kind of looks like Bruce Lee.
Brucey Lee. That's racist, bro.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Okay, so go. What is massive? So read it. It's so funny.
What is mass formation psychosis? Robert Malone makes unfounded COVID-19 vaccine claims on Joe Rogan's show. This is just viral. Wow. A massive rock formation, question mark. What? A Massachusetts psychosis. No, a mass formation psychosis is the term that Robert Malone, MD, used on the Joe Rogan Experience to describe what's been happening in the U.S. in recent years. Malone appeared on Joe Rogan's Spotify podcast shortly after being permanently booted from Twitter last week for repeated violations for their COVID-19 misinformation policy.
Pause.
Okay.
Hold on, pause. He's never received one warning on Twitter. He didn't receive a strike one, a strike two. He posted two things in like 24 hours that he thought maybe one of these could have got me kicked off and was kicked off suddenly. So already, I'm going to go through this and just we'll pick it apart. Just continue.
Cool. And if you look at some of the outrageous, unscientific things that are said on social media in general, it typically takes a fair amount of pseudosciencing to get booted in this manner. So was there any merit to Malone's use of this mass term on the Rogan show? In a way, perhaps some, but maybe not in the way Malone had intended. Who is Malone? Well, he's listed himself as the inventor of the mRNA vaccines and DNA vaccines on his LinkedIn account. Wow. Of course, you could probably list yourself as the king of all dinosaurs on such a social media profile if you wanted to. Others have questioned Malone's inventor claim, but more on that later. Okay, pause.
Pause. Have you ever seen a more like 12-year-old? This is supposed to be a journalist. So instead of doing 2 seconds of research, he goes, well, you could make yourself Dinosaur King if you wanted. Hey, idiot. You can look up the documents. In one Google search I did, I was like, you know what? Is this guy really the inventor? Oh, turns out he was. He worked in a lab that was working on it, and it was one of his breakthrough things that caused the breakthrough. They had to invent a new technology.
And his name's on the patent.
And he was also like instrumental. Like he really was a part of that team and really came through. Takes 2 seconds to figure out. This guy's gonna go, well, you could be king of the dinosaurs. More on that later, though. Like as if he's like, oh, that's a tricky one. Dude, it takes 2 seconds of your job. And you won't. Anyways, continue reading. Dude, this is such a funny article.
But I guess one of the things is if a reporter like this wanted to go research if Malone was the inventor, they'd do a Google search. They'd be like, is Robert Malone inventor of thing? And then they'd find 100 results that are like just defaming Malone and saying that he's not. So it's
But
like,
that's not journalism. That's
right.
not journalism. You would go to the
But that's
website that has the
today's
patent
journalism, isn't it?
as it as well. Yeah, dude, this guy's not even a journalist. He's just a troll paid for by like people who have this interest. Like
He's a
it's
senior
literally this is what journalists would do,
contributor. Senior.
dude. A journalist wouldn't just look at someone's Twitter and go, "Oh, this guy says he's not really the inventor." A journalist would go, "Okay, I'm going to go to the website where this information is kept.
Right.
Okay, this guy did it. Let's go through this article because I got to go soon. I don't have all the time in the world." But continue.
My glasses on. But more on that later.
I think on Rogan's podcast.
On Rogan's podcast, Malone began talking about his background and then COVID-19 vaccines before segueing to Nazi Germany. Because who doesn't talk about Nazi Germany when talking about COVID-19 these days, right? Some politicians and TV personalities have been putting the two topics together like cereal and water or forks and power outlets. Malone began this part of the conversation by asking Rogan what the heck happened to Germany in the 20s and 30s. Very intelligent, highly educated population, and they went barking mad. And how did that happen? Since this wasn't an episode on the TV show Jeopardy, Malone quickly answered his own question with, the answer is mass formation psychosis. Malone continued with, when you have a society that has become decoupled from each other and has free-floating anxiety in a sense that things don't make sense, we can't understand it. And then their attention gets focused by a leader or series of events on one small point, just like hypnosis. They literally become hypnotized and can be led anywhere. By can be led anywhere, did Malone mean like believing conspiracies such as those claiming that COVID-19 vaccines can make keys stick to your forehead or have other side effects that aren't being revealed? Malone...
Pause. To equate being Magneto and myocarditis, which is happening, is like this guy, whoever wrote this should be fucking slapped. Like this guy is literally like, this is the most retarded analysis of any information possible. This is so stupid.
It's playing on the masses. Like the masses would read that and they'd be like, they would think it's stupid because of how stupid the writers make it.
Here's the thing. Google right now. Pentagon. First of all, the Canadian government admitted in before the winter, I think in like August, that the Canadian military practiced propaganda and psychological tactics on the public. That's a fact. Google that. Canadian military practices propaganda.
Propaganda. Whoa, first one that pops up. Whoa. Damn, Ottawa citizen. Military leaders saw pandemic as unique opportunity to test propaganda techniques on Canadian forces? What? Oh, on Canadians. Forces report says.
This is real, okay? And the Pentagon had a paper. This came out a while ago, but the Pentagon, like 2 days ago, admitted they did the same thing. Now, this guy's a journalist, and I figured that out before he did. This guy's not a journalist. He's an idiot. He believes in the conspiracy. It's a fact. He admitted it. Literally, like the craziest thing that he goes, if you believe that, you believe your key will stick to your forehead. Dummy.
This last paragraph, though. Wayne Ear and D&D Deputy Minister Jody Thompson acknowledged in an internal document that the various propaganda initiatives had gotten out of control. So, like, the propaganda initiatives, for a bit, they were in control, but eventually it was out of control. For a bit, the propaganda was fine, but eventually it was too much.
But here's the thing. I don't even think Like it got out of control. What does that mean? It went according to plan? Like what the fuck does that mean? It got out of control. But I think what happened was
It started to really work.
I don't know. Like I don't know what does yeah, like anyway, so like I gotta go soon. Like
Yeah.
I
We'll
get
wrap
up,
this
my
up.
kid's gonna be back soon. I just got to wrap this up. So fuck Bruce Lee. That's the name of the episode.
Look at this
Fuck
one.
Bruce Lee.
I am fully vaccinated and boosted and just tested positive for COVID-19. I am grateful for the protection my vaccines continue to provide.
I posted that thinking they're dumb, but I'm looking at that and going, that's what I'm saying. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that was fun talking about all that. I want to talk about that all that because I just like needed to get it
Dude,
out.
there's so much more to talk about too. Like the actual numbers of the increases in like heart attacks in children and like how like apparently dormant viral diseases are coming back. People who had beaten cancer, the cancer's coming back. People who had shingles, the shingles comes back. Like there's a lot about this. And it's like, listen, we don't have an opinion on COVID or COVID vaccines, but just listen to the experts. And by experts, I don't mean Bruce Lee. I mean Robert Malone. I mean Peter McCullough. I mean Dr. Pierre Corey. People who are putting their lives, listen, whoever gets paid to give information is not as trustworthy as someone who is losing to give information.
Exactly.
Trust. Every time in history had a bunch of retards following the rules, going this way, and always had one guy going, please, this is the reality. And people went, you're fucking dumb.
They hung him on a cross
turns out
and killed him.
He hung him on a cross or killed him or blinded him and put him in a jail like fucking Galileo or all these people. Was it, yeah, Galileo, all these people. Was it Galileo? Oh, yeah, Newton. And then Galileo, yeah. He said the world is round. They said, fuck you. So all these people tell you the truth. The powers that be don't want you to hear the truth. They punish that guy. You believe them. Turns out in like 20 years, you find out he was right. You make a statue about it. Listen, you won't be around to make the statue. Listen to these experts. Protect yourselves and your children. Like, oh my God, man. This is so crazy. This is so fucking crazy.
It like keeps me up at night sometimes. Like I'm doing my best, you gotta accept what's going on. You gotta have faith. You gotta do your thing, but it's tough, man. This is tough. Not easy.
No, dude, once you hear like toply cited PhDs and MDs and like the best people in their fields, like possibly ever, come out and say the exact same things as Alex fucking Jones and go on Alex's Jones show and be like, Alex,
you're right.
You're right. You said this 10 years ago and it's happening now. And Alex is just like, I don't want to be right.
Fuck.
He's like, so wait, is there a way out of this? And they go, I don't see one. Oh, we'll be right back. Like, he's just like, oh shit. Like after a while, you'd have to think like, man, am I wrong? And then it's happening now, and you're like, oh my God, it was right. Fuck, I should have went harder in the paint.
Want to know one of the hardest parts about this thing is being in like a house, being in a spot where everyone is drinking the Kool-Aid and you're the only one not drinking the Kool-Aid. And so, man, I really appreciate this time with you every week because it's like I get to connect with another human that knows reality.
Yeah. I don't have to be in a weird play going on in my living room where I have to pretend something isn't reality. Like, dude, the people I live with, like, as much as they're great people, I love them to death. Like, no problems. Like, it's more like they think I'm retarded.
They think I'm crazy.
Like, I remember someone said to me, listen, they're not allowing people who aren't vaccinated medical attention, like in hospitals. This has been happening to a few people. There's been stories. So please get vaccinated so you can get, it's like, listen, I'll need to go to the hospital if I get that shit. Like, first of all, I didn't say this because I don't want to argue with them. I just want to live in peace. But I go, doesn't that bother you? Bother you in like the right way? I won't get a chance to go. I'm worried that you're even okay with that happening. Like we're looking at the wrong thing. It's sleight of hand. Like we're looking at the wrong hand. I know how he did that trick. He hit it behind his fingers, and everyone's going, "No, it was real magic." I'm like, "No, dude, it's in his. I bet you it's in his right pocket. I saw him put it in his right pocket." Everyone goes, "No, dude, it's magic." I go, "Check his pocket then," and they go, "Shut up." Check his pocket. I bet you it's in his pocket. Get him out of here. Be a better magician if you want me to get it too.
I ain't getting it. We ain't getting it.
I'm not. If you want to get it, go and get it.
Bro,
I'm not taking that. Dude, one time. No, yeah, let me just go on this funniest thing ever. It was around the start of COVID. I'm playing Call of Duty online with some random guy. And I can hear you sound like one of them. Is there more chicken? Like one of those guys. And we're playing Call of Duty. And all of a sudden I hear him go, fuck, I hope I don't got that shit.
You already got it.
And then he logged off. I never stopped thinking about him. I thought he was going, fuck, I hope I don't have that shit. I've always thought about that guy. What happened to him?
He got
Is he
shit.
fine? He got a problem, but I don't got that shit. And just logged off. And I was left alone in the Call of Duty game. And I was like, I never stopped thinking about that guy.
That's funny.
Anyways, Lucas, let's it's a good time to call it. It's been longer than an hour. I don't know how long you did.
Yeah.
My wife and child give me how many minutes. So
I gotta go label some bottles, bro. I got my first day with my first employee or my new employee tomorrow.
Oh, you got another new employee?
The last one quit. I had to replace them.
Oh, why?
He's like a married man, and he's working for $18 an hour, and he wanted something a bit more significant. And like I told him from the start, I'm like, we're growing. It's a startup. Like your wage will grow with the company. And he just kind of got a little impatient and he dipped. But it worked out for the best. So anyway, I'm gonna go get to work. Yeah. And this was awesome, man. Bless, bro. As always.
Yeah, God dude. Bless. Stay healthy. Take your vitamin D. Do all the things that these doctors are saying. Take your vitamin D. Drink your water.
Your booster booch.
Fuck. Drink your booch. Your booch. I'm telling you, I felt sick. I drank your kombucha.
Enough said.
Be healthy, guys. Enough said. Love you. Great to see you. Yeah. See you
Happy
next
New
time.
Year. See you next time.
Happy New Year, bro. May all the good things come to you and your family.